sneak and I creep. Not behind you, I'm under the keep. Little locked habits you don't even see. I sit where your patterns repeat. I'm the shadow man, I don't ever sleep. You shut your eyes, I wide in the seam. Every thought you tried to bury comes back dressed up like it's clean. I'm the shadow man, I eat what you keep. Not the fruit, just what it means. Take the center out your comfort. Leave the shell so it still seems sweet. I'm the shadow man, I'll steal your book. Not the pages, the way that it ends. You keep flipping, looking for closure. I keep moving where it bends. You felt that, right? That small shift you can't explain? Yeah, don't fix it. That's me. I'm the shadow man, look at my fingers, count them twice, they don't line up. Every reach you think is yours, I adjust just enough. I'm a shadow man, I don't cast reflections, mirrors glitch when I get close. You check again, something's off, but you chalk it up to ghost. I'm the shadow man, I live in your rhythm, I don't break it, I refine. Tiny edits like missteps, you start thinking they're by design. I'm the shadow man, I whisper in corners, not out loud. You don't need that. I just take what you were thinking and make sure it loops back. I don't chase, I don't show, I don't leave, I just grow. I don't speak, I don't ask, I don't stop, I just last. You don't run, you adjust. You don't fight, you just trust. Every shift, every doubt, that's me in it, figured out. I'm the shadow man, I don't need a body. I exist where you make space. Every time you hesitate, I get something I can place. I'm the shadow man, I don't need to find you. You carry me just fine. Every what if, every second guess, every fracture in your spine. I'm the shadow man, I don't rush endings, I stretch them thin till they snap. You think you're fixing what went wrong, I just reroute you back. I'm the shadow man, I'm going to plunge the world into darkness, not with force, just subtraction. Piece by piece, small corrections, till nothing feels like your action. You won't notice when it's finished, there's no line, no divide. You won't say it's over now. You'll just sit there and realize I never had to get inside. There he is, kids, the shadow man.
We got the mic muted, we got the camera muted, and we got everything. Yeah, awesome. Intro song there by Death Lord Productions, The Shadow Man. Yeah, that's some good stuff, buddy. Get invigorated to do this live stream. It's probably gonna be a long live stream, so everybody gonna hang around. If not, you can catch it on the replay. We got a lot to cover, man. Big news came down this week. You know, the one about the broker accountability hit today. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna cover the Wild Beard versus Hurstball thing, and they called the cops on him and all that stuff. Yeah, we're gonna cover that too. I got some videos from Wild Beard, got some videos from Bonehead Truckers, and got a video from Freight Waves we're gonna cover. Yeah, man, I found that Shadow Man. Go check out that video. I think it's his channel or that video was pinned in the chat. Go check it out. Check out some of his other music. It's pretty good stuff. He's yeah, pretty good. I like it. Death Lord Productions, not Snore Lord Productions. This is Death Lord Productions. So what's up? We got SST in the house. TJ Below the Woods. I haven't seen or heard anything from you in a month of Sundays. So what's going on up there? And where are you at? You still up there in the Pacific Northwest or somewhere up way the heck up in there and up there on the Canadian border or something? I don't know. Been a long time. Been a long, long time. I heard from TJ. So that's good. Yeah, we go. You know, I've been trying to find some videos to do. Man, I was sick most of last week. It was a stomach bug. I was off Wednesday and Thursday. I got sick Wednesday. So I was still sick Thursday, still sick Friday. So I took off work. Still not feeling it 100% Saturday. I said, well, where this stomach bug is going and, you know, running back and forth to the bathroom every 25 minutes or so. I said, I better just chill out and see what's going on. And so I took off Saturday. So I only worked Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And I was off yesterday, off today. Might take off again tomorrow. I only got scheduled for 4 hours tomorrow. I might just go ahead and put in my PTO for 4 hours and stay home again. But I've been doing them. Haven't feel like doing any videos, and you know my stomach's still not 100% now. It's hard to go to the bathroom, so my stomach is still. Not, I don't know how I caught a bug, but my stomach is still not 100%. I just got my appetite back like yesterday, so trying to watch what I eat, and yeah, so that's what's been going on with that. And yeah, we're getting some coffee. I'm gonna talk about my new coffee pot, which I don't know why I didn't wait or why I didn't get one before, but I wish I found it. I got a single serve Keurig. Keurig, is that how you say that? And I'm loving that thing, man. It's nice. See, the thing, I was gonna buy one at Walmart. You know, they're pretty expensive, but they have these other uh, same Keurigs, but they're kind of small or whatever they call them, something. But they had one there at Walmart for like $54. I said, I'll get that one because that's all I need. And so I was going up to the checkout when I got off work that night, and one of the young ladies that works there with me at the checkout area, she was still on the clock. She said, "Are you buying that?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy it." She goes, "Don't buy that. I got one at the house that's one step up from that one. It cost her $85 or something." She said, and when I was buying it was 54. So she said, "I don't use it. Nobody in the house uses it. Do you want it?" And I said, "Well, you know, I don't. I'm not big on accepting gifts like that anyway." But I said, I don't know. That's all right, because I was thinking that it was gonna be the next day or the couple of days before she would get the thing in to me, and I wanted that thing that night. And she said, "No, I live like 5 minutes away. I go get it real quick. Take my 15-minute break. Go get it. My mom's already got it packed up, ready to go. Let's drive over there, get it, come back. I said, okay. So sure enough, she went down the street, got a color thing, and brought it back to Walmart. And I was sitting there waiting on her. And yeah, so I got a brand new, never used Keurig, single cup Keurig, and or Keurig, whatever they call that thing. So I'm enjoying it. I love that thing. I don't know why I didn't get one sooner. How I discovered it. Now I know they've been around for a while, but when me and Ike were there in Louisville at the B&B Airbnb, they had one of those things there, a Keurig. They had a regular drip coffee pot and a Keurig, and so Ike bought a bunch of coffee pods, and so I started using that thing. I said, man, I gotta get me one of these. These things are nice. You don't have to worry about Keurig. Okay, okay, you're still in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. Okay, well, yeah, and so I get me one of these things. And I Googled or I looked up on Amazon. That one there at the Airbnb was like $130. So what? So I was went to Walmart, looked around, and I didn't know they had the cheap ones. Somebody was lady was trying to check out, and she had two of them. The one I was going to get $54. Something happened to her card, so she had to leave them there at the register. So I said, well, let me check the price on this thing. Scan the barcodes, came at $54. I said, oh, I'm going to get me one of those. It's the same thing. Just, I don't know what the difference is, to tell you the truth. Maybe less water reservoir or something. So, yeah, so the girl gave me that one and been loving it ever since. I go in there and, you know, I just, I think getting off from work, getting home and just having a relaxing cup of coffee, but I don't want to make a whole daggone pot of coffee. So this thing works perfect. I come home, chill out, get my jams, my jammies, make me a one single cup serve of coffee, and that's it. No mess, no cleanup. Don't have to fill the reservoir of coffee, rinse out the coffee pot. So I'm loving it. Loving it. Cure egg. So yeah. So that's what's happening here so far. Anything else going on around here before we get into all this stuff? I can't think of anything. So, has everybody seen the video from Wild Beer that he did a couple days ago or something, a week ago maybe, about her spa? See, he posted a picture on social media, AI picture that I guess the people there at her spa didn't care for, so uh, they took it as a threat, and calling the cops on Wild Beard, and the lawyer has been harassing Wild Beard, telling me you need to take that down, need to take that down. And Wild Beard said, "No, I'm not going to." So I appreciate the fact that Wild Beard is fighting back her spa and their law and their legal team or whatever. But he we'll cover the video there when he got a call from the police department there in Iowa. So her spa called the police. Thing about Wildbeard, he was at CalArc when I was there, or the Central Hall. I never ran across him. He said he saw me down in Laredo, and I was kind of outstandish. I don't remember that. So I hope you don't think that about me. I'm not outstandish. Never was. I always like to meet people. And but he's I don't know. One thing about I don't why he leave Hurstball and go to Prime. I don't understand that part, but we gotta do what you gotta do, I guess, and whatever. But let's just quit talking about it and just get to the video there. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. I'm a rookie at this live stream stuff anymore. Let's see. share screen. I'll leave him right next to me there. See, share screen. It should be ready to go. Let's see. Hirschbach called the police. Here we go. I'll probably skip through some of this videos. It's over an hour long. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm gonna skip some of it. So let's get him here and see what's going on there, Wildbeard.
Just want to say this is a little bit different video for me. In fact, these are the kinds of videos that I don't like to make. The title is true. This isn't clickbait. Hirschbach really did call the police on me because of a Facebook photo that I posted. Just random, just me, several of you have probably seen it. But I just kind of want to communicate a few things that I don't want to harm anybody. I don't want anybody else to harm anybody. I'm going to show the video. I recorded the video of me talking to the police officer. It's officer. Let me go ahead and I want to make sure I get this right. Officer Pender of the Dubuque Police Department. This video, man, I'm going to really document what's happened at Hirschbach, some things that have happened after I've left, and I'm going to give you my opinions. I'm going to go through particularly Richard Stocking career history here. I've got several articles pulled up that I'm going to recite.
Let's see. Where's the picture that he posted? I just saw it and I was scrolling through. Let's see. There it is right there. That's what he posted on social media. That's the one they're trying to get him to take down. Right there. It's pretty good. Picture of burned up truck in the background. And I guess CEO and now who the other guy is. Yeah, we're just talking there. He has a history. And it's not a real good history. So let's continue here.
Of the video, just because I was going to create a new thumbnail that was going to look different, but I think I'm just going to keep with this one now. And it's a metaphor and a symbolism. I don't wish to do anything violent to anybody or whatever else, but I am going to bring management to their knees, man. And that's what those two guys in the suits, it represents management, the upper echelon of leadership, however you want to say it. It represents me bringing them to their knees, man. And all of us drivers bringing them to their knees. Because you know what? Not one more driver should go to that company. In a previous video, I have said, and this is what kicked this all off, was this post that I made. The previous video, I said that harassing me, that's doing any harassment, has been your lawyer.
I skipped a little bit there. I don't want to play the phone call with the police officers. I think he probably should have never talked to the police officer on the phone, because you know how they can twist your words into something, and so if you want to go hear that, just check out his video and watch it there. So let's continue.
Okay. Your lawyer has called me multiple times a day, sent me email, called me once today already, an hour ago. And it's the next day. And you're still trying to call me like I'm an idiot going to talk to your stupid lawyer when I haven't broken the law. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Nobody's broke the law here. This is called First Amendment, freedom of speech. And I'm allowed to talk about public things that happen and public people and give my opinion on them. Okay? Now, I know that Hirschbach loves to bully people. You want to call people and call the police on people to get me to be silent and get what you want and micromanage me and try to take my photos down or whatever. But I want you to know, dude, I want everybody at Hirschbach to hear this. Management and every executive to hear this, man. I'm not going to back down. Not now, not ever, bro. And if you think for 1 second, for 1 single second, that you could intimidate me, all that does is make my resolve even stronger. Because I'm here to speak up for drivers, man. That's what I came here to do. I'm not monetizing this video. There's no plugs in this video. And I know, let me tell you something. I've got plenty of faults in me, dude. Y'all can hate on me for being a crappy dad or crappy husband, or I don't do this right, or I lied about this, or I didn't do this, or this, and this. Let me tell you, I got plenty of personal faults, dude. Plenty of them, man. And you can, and some of you drivers, man, you hate that I go work for another lease company, and some of you don't like that it's a mega carrier company, and some of you don't like this, and some of you don't like this person over here, and this. You're nothing but a savage. Can criticize me over Dad wasn't there for my birthday. Dad wasn't there. You don't have to listen, man. Empty promises that he's just going to reverse on when he gets into office and gets what he wants. I don't need another union that's going to take more money out of my check. But I tell you what we do need each other. And we're going to have to stand up together if we're going to fight this. And I'm tired of these influencers. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Just like these tech oligarchs. It's inevitable. You're not going to be able to stop it. It's inevitable. You can't fight. These guys are they're afraid of technology and they don't want to change. Bro, I've got so much. Bro, do you know I'm a YouTuber, bro? I'm a drone pilot. Dude, I've got 360 cameras. I got mirrorless DSLR cameras. I got all kinds of cameras in here, man. I've got a tech setup.
This all goes back to Hirschbaum buying the 500 trucks from Aurora. Self-driving trucks, self-driving software, all that stuff. And Hirschbaum says it's for the betterment of our drivers, to make the place more good or better to work at. So I think I covered that story last week. Well, check it out if you want to. Here we go. Let's see, did I hit play? Yeah, hold on. Play.
Swift Night, 6 bit. This happened back in 2017, April 9th, 2017. Swift Knight 6 billion merger gives Kevin Knight the keys to a kingdom. You know, this is kind of the acquisition from Knight that buys up Swift or whatever, okay? In one fell swoop, Kevin P. Knight has become one. I'm just reading this whole article because I want you to get the context, and then we're going to get to the good part here that pertains to Richard. In one fell swoop, Kevin P. Knight has become king of the truckload industry hill. Knight's company, Phoenix-based Knight Transportation, made history today by merging with hometown rival Swift Transportation Company in a $6 billion all-stock deal that creates the nation's biggest truckload company. Kevin Knight, 60, who was Knight's CEO from 1993 to 2014 and has been its executive chairman since January 2015, will become executive chairman of Knight Swift Transportation Holdings Incorporated. As the company will be known, Knight will also become president of the Swift operating entity. Accounting standpoint, Knight will be considered the acquiring carrier. Swift shareholders will own 54% of the shares in the new entity. Here it is. You guys ready for this? You ready? I'm about to give it to you. The odd man out is Richard Stocking.
Oh,
imagine that.
Isn't that something?
The odd man out is Richard Stocking, the highly regarded Swift president and CEO who will leave the company after the deal closes at 46. Stocking was part of the next generation of trucking CEOs that is ready to take over from their aging founders. Last September, Stocking became co-CEO along with Swift founder Jerry Moyes. Jerry Moyes, man, the founder. However, I guess Jerry Moyes brought you under his wing, didn't he, man? He brought you up there, man, gave you promotions, got you up there just to be a co-CEO along with the founder. Wow. However, oh boy, here comes the transition. However, Stocking immediately assumed all day-to-day responsibilities, effectively forcing Moyes out.
Wow.
Stabbed him in the back, didn't you? He trusted you to be co-CEO and to run things while he did his. You couldn't do it, could you? This is all according to John G. Larkin, transport analyst for Stifel, an investment firm. This didn't sit well with Moyes, Larkin said. Stocking's departure resulted from a lost power struggle with Moyes, who still wields enormous influence. Larkin said, people often underestimate Moyes' business savvy and access to top-notch advisors. Plus, he values loyalty highly, according to Larkin. If Moyes felt betrayed by Stocking, quotation marks here, the game was over, he said. You underestimated. See, You underestimated Moyes being 72 years old at the time. You were in your 40s. You thought you were savvy. You had good speech. Hey, bro, I'll tell you one thing about King Richard. I'm going to start calling him King Richard. King Richard really talks pretty. He talks really pretty, man. And I bet you just thought that you were so savvy, you could just backstab Moyes. And you know what? You underestimated him, just like you underestimated all of us drivers. You didn't think we were going to stand up and do something, did you? You didn't think we were going to sit there. You thought we were just going to sit there and listen to you with that pretty little talk that you do and that chat GPT, LinkedIn language that you use all the time. But to the rest of us, you sound stupid, bro. All you people who talk like that, I just want everybody to know, man, when you use that LinkedIn language and you talk like a little chat GPT robot, you sound stupid. Like you sound like an idiot. Every time people use that in an email or in a freaking, like on a phone call or something, you sound like a freaking dummy, dude. Like, bro, you can make fun of the way I talk. I don't care. It's cool, man. I'm down with it, bro. But at least I sound like a normal human being, bro. Y'all try to sound like robots. He's like, no. Some of y'all talking in that LinkedIn language, bro. Y'all talk that way so you won't be replaced by AI, dude. You're like, maybe they won't think I'm a real human if I just pretend to be a robot. Anyways, dude, you the finances, and from all perspective gained here, from my opinion, Richard just didn't do a good job as a CEO, even at Swift. He did a terrible job. You didn't lead effectively. You thought you had some political savvy, man. You stabbed everybody in the back, and bro, and as a result, bro, you pretty much got fired, right? You left for better opportunities or what. Or prior to becoming a full-time consultant and executive coach, Richard Stocking enjoyed a 27-year career with Swift Transportation. Richard began as an entry-level customer service representative and worked in various roles in sales and operations before becoming president and CEO. At the time of his departure, Swift Transportation was the largest truck.
I have a mic muted. Wildberry needs a drug test? That's funny. You're crazy. Then we fast forward a little bit. I got a lot more to cover, so let's see. I just go right to here. See what he's talking about. It's in the Celadon part here.
He's really nervous and he's really angry, and he's really wanting the lawyer to pay attention to this one, see if they can get me, and that's okay. Celadon announces former Swift head will lead trucking unit turnaround.
Yeah, I turned them around all right, didn't they?
We all remember Celadon. Do you remember when you want to know when this article came out? August 13th, 2019. So when this article came out, Celadon announces former Swift head will lead trucking unit turnaround. 2 weeks after receiving long-term financing, Celadon Group named Richard Stocking, the former chief executive officer of Swift Transportation, as the head of its trucking unit. This is the head of their trucking unit. This is the dude in charge of all their trucks, right? That's what that means. I don't know how else to interpret that. He's the head of the trucking unit. The Indianapolis-based truckload carrier announced that it has entered a consulting agreement with DPX Consulting, which is just the website that we were just at, that Richard Stocking is the CEO and principal for. They just entered an agreement with DPX Consulting, LLC. The consulting firm will provide broad-based management services, essentially running Celadon Trucking Services Incorporated. Essentially running. They're pretty much running the whole freaking trucking company.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it just said here on freightwaves.com in this article, August 2019. Okay? That's what it says. That's what I'm going with. I'm sorry, I'm just getting more passionate about this because this makes me angry. It makes me really angry. And I want every driver advisory board, every manager that has advocated for the executive line of dialogue and discussion, I want you to listen to this, and I want you to pay attention to it. I want every driver, every officer, every office personnel, every payroll person, every tech person, everybody to listen to what I'm about to read you. Notably, Stocking will oversee the trucking unit's operations, serving as chief transformation, transformation officer of Celadon Trucking Services. Unit generates through roughly $400 million in annual revenue, which is approximately 75% of Celadon's total revenue. Specific terms of agreement were not disclosed. From this press release, the compensation includes an incentive component linked to achievement of progressively improving operating margin benchmarks. So he gets compensation linked to his achievement on progressively improving operating margin benchmarks. Increasing the profit margin up means that he gets a bigger paycheck. That's what that means, okay? That's what that means. We are excited to have Richard as the entire DPX team working with us to accelerate needed improvements in our U.S. truckload business. DPX brings Richard's decades of experience with Swift, as well as deep analytical and frontline operations capability of 2 other seasoned truckload executives. All are veterans at instilling sales and operating discipline. This is all just to kind of help get more shareholders to invest more. In a statement, DPX and Richard Stocking commented on the new agreement. We have studied the company for several months and are convinced of the inherent potential of the franchise. We plan to work with Celadon's leaders to adopt proven methods and enhance efficiency, set clear and measurable goals, and empower people through ownership of their results. Not only will performance improve, the entire organization will be energized by creating a winning culture. He's going to change the culture. He's going to transform this place, and we're going to turn it around, turn the sinking ship around. I'm looking forward to working with Paul and the team as we roll out the program through every part of the business. Yeah, this was in August. Look at that. Doesn't that sound grandiose? It sounds really great. Man, what a rally cry for the troops, right? August 2019, September 2019, October 2019, November 2019, December 2019. 4 months later, 1 week before Christmas, Celadon filed bankruptcy and stranded all of its drivers.
Yeah, I remember all that.
1 week before Christmas.
Crazy.
I want everybody at Hirschbach to hear me. There were some daddies that didn't get to go home to their babies for Christmas that year because of Celadon. There were some grandmas and grandpas that didn't get to go home for Christmas that year because of Celadon. Now, I don't know if Richard made that call. All I can tell you is he was in charge of their trucking unit. That's what it says. And that was 4 months ago before they finally filed bankruptcy, closed their doors, and stranded every driver. You know why they stranded every driver? To increase their profit margins. Because they don't care. None of them do. None of these people like that do. Now, I don't know if King Richard made that call. I don't know. I don't know what happened in the back room. I don't know if he advocated, but I know one thing, bro. I'd be standing up and be like, bro, I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with this. There'd be an article somewhere. There'd be something.
Let's see what's going on.
31% approval of CEO. He don't got a picture up here either, man. Got the picture down. But I mean, maybe there's, probably a lot of CEOs are kind of unpopular at these mega carriers. So I went over here to Prime. I just want to check out Prime. Wow, look at this. 3.5 stars. 67% would recommend to a friend. 79% approve of CEO Robert Lowe on Glassdoor. 79% approve. Now let's go back over here because I want you to look at this. They have a 3.5 stars. Hirschbach has 3.2 stars. But look at the stark just the difference in the approval of the CEO, 31% as opposed to 79%. Now, I don't want to just do Prime. Let's do Swift, man. Everybody hates Swift, dude. They're the blunt of the jokes. 3.0 stars. The lowest of Prime, lower than Hirschbach. 62% for the CEO, Adam Miller. 62% for the CEO at Swift. 31%. And it's a lower rating on Swift's Glassdoor for the company than it is for Hirschbach. But their CEO, like King Richard, bro, dude, people don't like you. And I think everybody's afraid to tell you because they're scared of you. Scared for their job, scared. Next, Saturday, April 25th, and there is a
in this
looks like a
shortly.
screenshot of a message.
Move on to other news.
Something that got leaked out. It says, "Good afternoon, team. Not sure if word got out yet, but the office side had a mass layoff yesterday. We're in a cost savings mode all around, so please keep that in mind on all actions. Fuel, idle, DH miles are going to be reviewed very closely." I received a text message saying that was from them. There was a mass layoff. I don't know how many people it was, around 70, maybe somewhere around in there, I believe. I don't know for sure. Can't tell you. But there was a mass layoff. And from all evidence that I've gathered, that happened on April 25th. I found that out. Then April 30th, I received another text message about Hirschbach buying 500 driverless trucks from Aurora, being contracted in for it. Okay? So this is straight from Aurora's website here, okay? Because some people, they're switching it around like, oh, well, it's just 500, but we don't have to buy that. We can buy only 25. Like, But I'm going to read you straight from Aurora's website what they have to say, because I don't want people, management starts saying one thing, they start changing for the business and for the driver. See, you don't have to drive as many miles anymore. We'll just.
I just stop sharing there. Let's get back. Get back over here. Why not stop that? All right, that's done. All right, yeah, that's. Hirschbach 500 autonomous trucks within the next year or so, and I guess no more long haul for drivers. It's gonna be local, all that stuff, according to Hirschbach and Aurora. And wow, how do they? I know they're doing tests now, or they have some success so far, and some of the driverless trucks out there, but I don't think it's enough. They're going on regular routes that they know are good, like from Dallas to Houston. Well, good, but not that bad. It's not mountainous. It's not real curvy. It's not filled with potholes. So what's going to happen? I always use 20 through Shreveport as a reference as far as what's going to happen. All them bumps through there, and there's some pretty major bumps. I'll knock some of that electronic equipment loose. I seen something the other day. What are they going to do about, all these sensors, these cameras, these driverless trucks use? You get a lot of bugs. If they're in Florida, about the love bugs down here, mosquitoes elsewhere. You're driving at night, they get bugs. What are you going to do when some cameras or them sensors get covered in that stuff? Road ground. What happens if you have a blowout? I guess they're set to pull off on the shoulder. What if there is no shoulder, or the shoulder is occupied? And then who's going to get out and put out your triangles? I know they were trying to get an exemption from the FMCSA about putting their triangles out. They're going to use marker lights or whatever. So that's stupid. So I don't know. So long term, they had to do a lot of work, I think, to make it long term. But still, it's crazy, crazy stuff. What it is. So that's pretty much the Aurora Hirschbach wild beard thing. Wahlberg's pretty pissed. He left Hirschbach. You know who else left Hirschbach? Was over there? Trucker's Coats. Yeah, he was over there. He was talking big and bad about Hirschbach, how good a company they were, and all of a sudden he's gone. He's in fact he's with Prime also. He's not with Prime directly. He's just one of those companies. I can't think of the name of it. That's hauls all Prime freight. So I don't know. He's supposed to be making a comeback to YouTube. I don't know what's going on over there. We don't know how that goes with Trucker's Coats, but there we have it. So let's what happened today? Well, the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that brokers are to be held responsible for crashes or liable for all that stuff. So apparently brokers are going to have to start getting some liability coverage, insurance coverage. And now a lot of people are thinking there's a lot of people hating this, think it's bad for the industry. A lot of people think that it's good for the industry. The brokers have to start vetting these chameleon carriers and everybody else that's, causing these major accidents, killing a lot of people out there on the highway. You're going to have to start vetting them. But they think that these people that don't like this ruling say that it's going to put the small people out as far as brokers and companies, I think. So we got a video here from Freight Waves, the dude that runs Freight Waves, and they're about to have a breakdown over this stuff. Then we're going to go check out Bonehead Trucker, see what he thinks about it. So let's get this. Share this screen. What am I doing here? Let's see. So yeah, I got a news field live stream tonight. Let's see, which one is it? This is it. Extinction event. Freight Waves. And I got mixed feelings about Freight Waves. That we're going to cover this. See what's going on right here.
That happened since.
We're not going to play it all. We're going to fast forward to it. This one's about, 38 minutes or something. We're not going to play it all.
Deregulation.
Skip around.
SCOTUS has ruled unanimously. That's really important. And Matt Leffler here is to talk about why it's important, but has ruled unanimously that freight brokers can be held liable for hiring unsafe carriers or due to carrier negligence.
Well, they should be. In my opinion, I think they should be.
To talk about that, Matt Leffler is here. He is the armchair attorney.
You're going to have somebody, you're going to broker somebody, go pick up a load, and you're just going to hire some dude off the street that's got a truck and a trailer. No insurance, no CDL, no E-log or whatever. Yeah, go get this load. You look good. You got a truck and a trailer? You good to me. You got a warm body behind the seat? Go get this load. Now, when they can't make it, or when they run over a bunch of people, the broker's going to say, I'm not liable for that. I can't help you fall asleep. Shut up. Listen to this.
Is the smartest law person in freight and the only lawyer that I like.
No.
I don't know if I'm the smartest today, Craig. I was certain that this case would go the opposite direction. Now, I asked SCOTUS to wait until I got home from my travels. They didn't do that. And today we have a unanimous decision saying brokers can be held liable for the negligence of a motor carrier. F4A preemption is gone. It's dead. It's over. And now the question remains, what do brokers do? In this case, the motor carrier had a conditional safety rating. I feel like if you are a broker today, you may never work with the conditional safety rating again. This opens the door. The floodgates are open for every broker that is involved in a motor vehicle accident. You are going to be tagged and processed. You will be defending your selection choices. And I don't know how this changes. This is a lot of stuff happening. Unanimous decision, Craig. This is interesting, man. eager to see how the markets respond as we look at the future of liability in this industry.
Well, what's crazy, JP Hampstead flagged the fact that Knight-Swift shot up immediately 7%. Truckload carriers, the brokers are selling off. The large asset carriers, the mega carriers, the big public guys are definitely the winners here. You can't argue against that. Whether you think this is going to have as big of an impact as we have talked about on freight brokers, it is going to have a massive, massive boon for the large asset carriers, which are already having to deal with compliance and have massive, massive targets on their back. I talk about the profound impact. We've talked about the fact this is an execution
targets on their
event.
back.
Well, it is an execution event. There's going to be a lot of folks executed on the lines here. It is an extinction event for, I think, 30 to 50% of freight brokers are just going to cease to exist. So let's talk about why that is. I talked to an insurance executive.
Is that such a bad thing? What about the bad brokers? Don't they need to go anyway? Who is this guy?
Just a few minutes ago, I said, what do you think the readout is here? And he said, look, insurance rates are going to go up for freight brokers, first of all, 5 to 10x, not 5 to 10%, 5 to 10 times more cost for insurance, because now insurance.
Oh, that's Craig Fuller. I'm sorry. I knew who that was. He's a founder and CEO of FreightWaves. I guess you don't like this.
Insurance companies have got to completely redo their models. They were able to avoid the kinds of liability that's coming their way, and they're not going to want to be unexposed here. The other thing, as he said, is many of the carriers may just stop writing policies altogether. We've seen that in asset carriers. In large truckload carriers, insurance companies have been underwater for many years and have just stopped writing policies altogether. That seems a little bit, it's going to be very unusual for freight brokers because they've not dealt that kind of environment. And so you think about insurance, it's going to be massive cost increases for insurance, for freight brokers, if you can get insurance at all. And the other thing is, Matt, is that you pointed out, if you're hiring a carrier with a questionable safety rating, you are hosed, because whether or not you can demonstrate you did nothing negligent, the fact that you have this information that's public, that the FMCSA offers you, and you disregard it, is going to mean that you are liable for that in the courts. Like, this is going to be a boon. The trial attorneys are going to win. The biggest winners are the trial attorneys. It is absolutely, I'm floored, Matt. I'm absolutely floored right now.
He's worried about the bottom line there instead of worrying about the safety of all the good truck drivers and all the motoring public out there with these fly-by-night freight brokers not vetting these carriers, these fly-by-night carriers. They just let them haul anything, anytime, anywhere. This guy's getting on my nerves.
I know. For my lawyer brothers and sisters, I'm excited for them. Obviously,
I am not
always win.
I am not excited. We do not need more lawyers. They're the problem here. But man, would it be good to be a trial lawyer today? You've been giving a huge gift.
The broker industry has been predicated on not being held liable in these types of events. That is the entire business model, is to control capacity, but not have the liability risks that the asset-based motor carriers deal with. That is now changing. And nobody knows what is considered a legitimate amount of research and due diligence. 94% of motor carriers have no safety rating. So brokers are going to be stepping into the shoes in a really real sense as a quasi-regulator, because ultimately we need the FMCSA to step up, and we have a lot to be done. What we see happening now is these floodgates are opening across the United States. Every single vehicle accident that has a broker involved, the broker will be sued. Their processes will be challenged. Nobody knows what is considered adequate amount of research. If a driver falls asleep, is that the broker's fault? We'll find out. This is, again, one of these things I never predicted. Paul Clement, who argued on behalf of Montgomery, a phenomenal lawyer, great lawyer, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. government, the FMCSA, all said that brokers ought not to be liable, and they were proven wrong in a unanimous decision. Again, I would never have anticipated a unanimity among the SCOTUS, but that's what we have here. It is wild, man. It is absolutely wild.
Matt, what does unanimous mean? I mean, I don't. You're much closer to the
means they
Supreme
all
Court
voted
decisions
the
and follow this,
same.
more than I do. frankly, there's only probably 10 cases I've ever really followed closely from a Supreme Court standpoint, just big events. But my read on it is a unanimous decision is very different than having dissenting opinions or having, a close vote. It pretty much rules or means that it's going to be very hard to relitigate this in the future, because now the Supreme Court has ruled unanimously there is no dissenting opinion. What does this mean?
So what we have is 9 justices agree on the same conclusion. If you go back to the Biden era Department of Transportation, they wanted brokers to be held liable in these cases. They wanted that door to be open. Now, we got to be very clear. This does not mean that CH was negligent. All this means is the claim for negligence survives. So it's going to go back to the lower court, and they're going to litigate whether or not CH was wrong in terms of whether they were negligent or not. But when you have unanimity, this means Republicans and Democrats on the court. Now, they're not considered political, but they kind of are political. They all agree brokers need to be liable. If I were the TIA, if I were CH, the path next is going to be going to Congress and trying to get a law that gives you some insulation. Maybe they succeed, maybe they don't. But right now, with every one of the members of the Supreme Court siding with the plaintiff, with Montgomery, this means that there is no question. This is not going to get overturned. This is the future under F4A. Brokers are still on the table. What we see happen over the next few weeks will be interesting. But this case, this opinion is short. It's 18 pages. There's the entire court agrees on the main part. There's a couple of concurring opinions, meaning they agree with the decision, but they have different reasons for agreeing with that decision. But my goodness, Craig, we talked about this on Freight Expectations, the phenomenal podcast that people love all across this country. And we're going to continue to cover it. But my goodness, what a surprise. What a surprise.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're off. You're traveling tomorrow. We actually canceled it because we were like, hey, we'll wait till next week. We have a special guest next week, by the way. We have teased it, which will be a really important Freight Expectation. So, but Matt, I gotta, dude, I'm still processing this. I had a call that I was supposed to get on at 10:30. The ruling came in at 10 a.m. or the release. I got notified about 20 minutes into about 10:20. And dude, I was just so overwhelmed by being shocked by this. And look, it was interesting because you had an opinion on whether it would be favorable or whether how the Supreme Court would rule. I again, you're much closer to that than I am. But I can tell you, it's very obvious that freight brokers are in an uncharted territory. They've never known this kind of liability. They're unprepared. I do have a question, Matt. Is there the possibility of cases that are years old go back into the court system because those cases have not been tried against brokers? Could we see cases that are 20 years old, 10 years old, where a broker could be sued? Is that possible for something that happened in the past?
Lost for words.
Generally, no, but stranger things have happened. What's been going on with these broker liability cases is that they have been stayed pending this decision. So a lot of cases were stopped waiting for the decision in Montgomery. Now that we have it, those cases are going to live. The ones in the past, generally speaking, you can't have another bite at the apple. You bring all the claims you can. If someone gets dismissed, the law is now the law today. It doesn't change.
The largest asset carriers are the biggest winners. The mega carriers have been dealing with massive liability for decades. They know what it's like to be compliant. Their brokerage operations sort of are a much smaller piece of their business. I think the large asset carriers are going to be massive winners in this. I think the freight brokers will lose. I think the larger 3PLs end up in much better shape, particularly the companies that have scale.
What broker will say, it's conditional, they're fine.
Less competitive. There's going to be a lot less carriers. The losers are going to be absolutely freight brokers. And I think it's going to be a delta between those brokers that are large scale with really tight compliant, large insurance amounts. I think the largest guys, the 3PLs, end up winning. I think the small.
I can't stomach any more of that. Good Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. I thought Craig Fuller had some sense. I guess not. Maybe he's been on the sun too much. I don't know. Shh, we're not going to talk bad about anybody, but come on now. Get out of here. Well, we're going to cover, see what bonehead truckers, the opposite side of this, which I kind of fall in this on that side. Let's check what he has to say today. Let me see. I gotta do this first. Share video, share screen, and there he is. So let's do it. See what old Ike's got to say about this. I kind of agree with Ike more than Craig Fuller over there.
LinkedIn or anything like that. There has been a major victory. And for all you guys that have been supporting what we've been supporting here on Bonehead Truckers, what you guys have been supporting with American Truckers United, you will see this as a big victory. The Supreme Court has ruled against the brokers, basically stating that brokers like C.H. Robinson, well, all brokers, but in this case, it was C.H. Robinson, right?
Right.
That they can be held liable. And they should be held liable. Okay. They should have some responsibility. Okay. And the Supreme Court unanimously agrees. Okay.
Yeah.
And there is currently a meltdown going on in the Freight-X. The brokers, they have shown their colors that
Yeah, we saw that meltdown. Craig Fuller there.
have found many months ago. I say many months ago because I only been on X stuff for about a year, a little over a year now. And a few months ago, I started calling these people out and they said, "Oh, Ike, you're wrong. They're not for the brokers or for the truck drivers." We're going to see. We're going to see what this meltdown is. But this is a huge victory. This is a huge victory. What does this mean for everyone? And we're going to talk about that in this video a little bit. This is going to possibly change a lot of things, okay, in trucking, because this is not the only thing going on in trucking today, but this is very, very huge. So you remember this date because people like the Colemans, people that the Colemans represent, all the victims' families, can now get something out of this. So let the meltdown begin. This is Kevin Rutherford. Kevin Rutherford obviously does not support the truck drivers. Okay, he supports the brokers. He said this is bad news in many ways. He doesn't say what it is. Of course, I have seen his post in the past, and he believes that brokers should not be held accountable. They shouldn't be held accountable for loads that they broker out to who they broker it out to. They should not be held accountable. Then there's Steve Oatley right here. Now, Steve Oatley, I like this guy. Used to work with him at TRC Freight. And let me just say, he's a good guy and everything, but he had a social media channel called Freight Broker Live, okay? Freight Broker Live. So it gives you a little bit of a history of his background, okay? The Supreme Court just issued a ruling that is going to hurt, if not collapse, small trucking, holding shippers and brokers responsible for hiring.
How is it going to collapse small trucking?
Negligent carriers. Hang on just a second. If you're doing everything right and by the book, you're trying to do your best, then you should be rewarded with that load, right? But if not, if you're cutting corners, if you're not taking care of your equipment, if you've got bad safety rating, then yes, you should be penalized. And who's going to get penalized out of this the most? Those small carriers that are running like chameleon carriers, people hauling, maybe these foreign entities and things of that nature. Because let me tell you something. I know a lot of carriers, whether they be small, just 20 trucks. I know carriers that has hundreds of trucks. I talk to these people and they take immense pride in their safety rating. And these guys will thrive. Absolutely will thrive. And if you don't take pride in your safety and all that, you don't need to be in trucking. 100%. This means they will no longer hire them. Mark my words, if you are unrated or worse, have conditional rating, your company is done.
Well, that's a good thing.
You just don't know it yet. That's interesting because I don't agree with that. I think you should change these words there, Mr. Oatley. It's like, hey, if you don't care about safety on the road, if you don't care about your equipment, you don't care about the safety of others, then your company is done. Mark my words. The FreightWaves people are freaking blowing a lid right now. Okay, they absolutely cannot stand this. Adam Wingfield, if you are a small carrier and you're cheering on the SCOTUS ruling against brokers, I advise you to step back and really consider the big picture. This could be catastrophic for many small carriers and owner-operators. Listen, I want to tell you something. You know what's catastrophic? Okay, for small carriers is not going by the book, right? But by cutting corners, by hiring illegal immigrants. I'm looking at the big picture. Most of us are looking at the big picture. This big picture is going to hold brokers accountable. Let's say, for instance, the wreck in Terrell, Texas. Okay, it was hauled by Hope Trans, right? The broker of that load was Covenant. It was a USPS load. Okay. This load was supposed to have a team driver, but it wasn't. It was one driver. See, but the rule is with USPS that it's supposed to have two. But guess what? Guess who didn't have it? The Hope Trans did not have, they had a single driver doing a team load. Okay. A strong solo Sergey. And, well, guess what? They fell asleep and ran over people and, killed people. Okay. Now, in my opinion, Covenant should have done their research on Hope Trans, because when you look at their safety and you look at where they come from, it's like they shouldn't even hired Hope Trans, in my opinion. But here we are, almost a year later, and now carrier brokers should be held reliable, or should be held accountable, I should say, for loads like that. When you could go and look, when you have all the tools in the world to go and look to say, okay, you could tell what kind of carriers, these brokers are hiring. And they could go and say, okay, this is probably not a good idea. We're not going with these people. Yes, Adam Wingfield, the Hope Trans of the world will go away. And then there's the biggest fraud of Freight X. Okay, she comes across as this big, and she had me fooled, right? As, I love trucking and blah, blah, blah. We call her Danielle Chafing around here. This was from a few months ago, how she sits there and she says that under federal law, a freight broker's job is to arrange transportation. It is not to select, qualify, or supervise drivers. They hire motor carriers, not drivers. This was in response to a poll. Who should be held responsible for vetting drivers? That's a part of it, right? That is absolutely, when you hire a carrier, you're hiring a driver too. And then, not even a month later, a bomb has dropped on the logistics industry. Okay, what do you have to say to that, Danielle Chafing? This old gal puts on a facade. Oh, I'm for the truckers and all this, that, and other, when she will defend brokers before actual truck drivers. I think she's the biggest fraud on the whole Freight X thing. That's my opinion. And then there's this winner right here. I mean, a lot of these guys are mentally handicapped. I mean, they're smart, book smart, and they know numbers and everything, but I really don't think they have much going else on upstairs, right? They know numbers. Good. Winners in this is large brokers, large carriers. I think you're missing a few things, huh? Losers, small and mid-sized brokers, and small carriers. Those are the losers. Let me just say this. You know who the winners are, Ken? You want to know who the winners are? And this is what none of these people want to talk about. None of these freaking idiots that we're sitting there talking about, none of them are sitting there saying, what about the Colemans? Yeah, you know, Delilah Coleman, okay, and their family, and who they represent. You know what I'm talking about? All those families that have lost their loved ones. They have lost their loved ones, and they couldn't sue a broker, even though it was clear a broker hired a carrier negligent, that they didn't do their research. The broker didn't do their research. Yes, the carrier was bad, but that could have been prevented. 100% could have been prevented. All these people are broker centric, right? Freight Broker Live, Kevin Rutherford, Adam Wingfield, all of the Freight Waves people. This guy, freaking the freight nerd. You know, these people are freaking having a meltdown today because you don't know why. This is because they actually have to do work. They actually have to do something by vetting a carrier. A carrier, when you vet a carrier, it tells you what standards they have. Okay? It tells you what kind of drivers they hire. You can tell if they're a foreign entity or not. You can tell what kind of equipment they have. Okay? And when you have good equipment, and what I mean by good equipment, by doing your pre-trip and keeping up your maintenance, hiring a driver that knows English and is well trained. Okay. And listen, when you sit there and talk about how small carriers and owner operators are going to hate this, I don't know, because most of the ones I deal with do take care of their equipment, do hire American drivers, and do have standards of their own. These people are having a huge meltdown, and I think it's freaking awesome. And I can't wait to see how this progresses. It should be This should be the biggest thing in trucking in a long time. The next thing we got to do is pass Delilah's Law. So David Rouser, watch this. Are you watching David Rouser? Okay. We need to get that passed. HR 5688. Let's get that into the House on the floor to vote on. Let's send it to the Senate, and let's send it to to the White House, have Trump sign it into law. That's the reason why I haven't been to DC, folks. This is because it's stalled. Everything is stalled. Today, we finally get some movement at the Supreme Court. And hopefully this ignites HR 5688 to go to the House to get voted on. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think in the comments of the video here. All right, because hey, I think you should all be happy. This is a major win for trucking, major win for safety, major win for the victims' families that at no fault of their own getting ran over by people that just do not care about safety. Bonehead truckers, we gone.
All right. Well, I think about that. I kind of lean towards Ike's position than I do with Craig Fuller and the rest of those so-called freight professionals, freight experts. I don't know. I guess, like you said, we'll see if it moves forward. But unanimous, 9-0. How uncommon is that? That's not very common, I don't think. But man, big news in the trucking industry, that's for sure. Can't let them run out on the road anymore. I can watch it from the background and report on it. But man, we don't think about that. How many people I got in here? 4 people. So not a lot going on. I know a couple weeks ago I said I'll start live streaming more often, but I got sick, so we had to back off that for a little bit. And so yeah. Crazy stuff, man. So brokers are going to be held accountable now for brokering bad bad carriers. Yeah, so more vetting is involved. Going to be involved. More work for the brokers if they want to stay in business. But I don't see the other people's point that it's going to hurt small carriers. Maybe bad or unscrupulous. Is that the right word? Unscrupulous small carriers, small brokers. But if you got your crap together, you know what you're doing, and I don't think you have anything to worry about. Right? Right. So who wins? Us, the general public. Keep these bad drivers off the road. Yes, that's my opinion. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm full of crap. Tell me something. And no, Craig Fuller melting down was, oh my God, so embarrassing. Embarrassing. But anything, that's all I got as far as the news this week. I know we're what hour and 15 minutes in. So I think I'll end it here. And if you're just on the replay, I appreciate you hanging around. Appreciate everybody hanging around that's in the watching right now. Appreciate it. So that's going to be it. So I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody have a good day and stay safe.